Hello guys, and welcome to day 10 of Artvent. We're almost halfway there, so what do we have for number 10? Let's see. Paint with me. We're gonna paint with acrylic colors today. Personally, one of my favorite mediums to paint with. And as you can see, I basically remember one time I bought like a bunch of these like little squares, like little canvases, to basically, for practice, but also in the student home, or I guess apartment that I used to live in. I basically covered the entire wall with these little paintings, which afterwards wasn't the smartest decision, because I ended up, we ended up getting less money back because, the kind of like the sticky stuff that I used, it wasn't like tape, it was like, we call it Tippex in like German, and it stuck to the wall, and I tried to get it off, but it would literally take the wall with it, or like the paint. So yeah, for all of the people out there, try to be smarter than I was. Like, I used what I thought would be, a safe choice, but then, when they're like thin coats of paint on the walls, you're simply gonna rip them off, and that's not nice. And very, like, I guess what you call it, like, renter friendly, which I thought it was, but it wasn't. So yeah, in this apartment at least I am allowed to, drill some holes and put up paintings, because after I move out, basically the deal is that, it's gonna be done anyways. Like, the entire apartment is gonna have to be painted over anyways. In that process you can also like stuff the holes, so it's not as bad as with the student home. But yeah, I think now I'm still gonna continue using these because I still have a lot of them, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it in the same fashion where I'm gonna stick each of them by themselves. But I've tried to think of maybe that I basically use like one big, like maybe like a cardboard, or like, because I think a canvas would be too nice and expensive to use, but basically like then stick them all on there like a big collage, and then put that somewhere. I think that might be a fun idea, to have like a collage of all these small little paintings that I did. But yeah, let's see how that goes. And today the idea is basically, like, I wanted to try to do something fun and Christmassy, so it's basically like a reindeer, and then I thought maybe it would be cute to have it like have like Christmas lights around its antlers or something. And I remember when I was in Pinterest, I stumbled on a few pictures. Like, I just like googled or looked up on Pinterest like reindeers, and then I found a few pictures where the reindeers have like their tongue poking out, that chaotic energy I really liked. So I attempted to do that in this picture and this painting, really. Yeah, I'm not the happiest with how the trees turned out, but it's, I guess, okay. And it kind of, for me personally, I don't know how it is with other people out here, I really struggle with like, in general, like winter paintings or whatever, because of the snow, because it's so much white, and it's so hard for me. How do I create dimension when everything is white? Like, it's just so much blank space. And I thought, maybe I could try, like, for example, here with this little tree, I thought maybe I could create the effect of snow by simply leaving the spaces white instead of then painting over again, because it kind of feels stupid, to paint something white that was already white, and it's like, like, or just to paint so much white. So I thought I'd try that out, and I think it worked pretty well, like better than I expected, so that was exciting. You know, that it does kind of like look like there's like snow on top of there, even though I didn't actually use any white color, but just a background. So, you know, that was fun to try out. And yeah. By the way, the brush set that I'm using, I have no idea where it's from, but I remember just on like last weekend, the weekend before that, I'm not sure, I like saw this when I visited my parents. I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, that's, you know, it's such a big brush set with everything that I could ask for. And it turns out it was for like my brother in school for this one subject. It's kind of like arts and crafts basically, but like, you know, not as like, you know, in kindergarten or something, but, you know, more serious. And I was so surprised. I'm like, what, today they have to use like these brushes? Like, that's my dream. And Mom was like, well, they don't have that subject ever again, so you can have it. And it was like, I was so happy that I could have this, because it's such a nice brush set, because it's like so many different sizes, like just everything. I don't know how I haven't stumbled upon this brush set, because my mom is also like a big fan of Amazon, so I bet she got it off of Amazon. So I don't know why I haven't seen this before, but I'm very happy to welcome these brushes into my collection. And they're also really good brushes, like they don't, like the hairs don't fall out, which is always a plus. And yeah, here you can just see me attempting to somehow make the, like, this forest look a little better and fuller or more realistic, with some darker shades and lighter shades of brown. It's okay, it's nothing groundbreaking, but I ended up being actually pretty happy, okay with the final product. It's not like phenomenal, like there's definitely been paintings where I'm like, oh, this is really like, I'm proud of this, but I also find it really cute. It's like right in the middle, you know. I don't hate it, I don't despise it, or, you know, like I did the one penguin painting where I did the watercolors, where I used the watercolors, but there's also been, you know, paintings where I was like, wow, now that is exactly what I imagined. But this is kind of in the middle, and it's not like, oh, I don't have hard feelings for it, but I think it's pretty cute. It could have turned out better. I don't know what to do with like the white spaces left, or some of the dimensions like in the face, but it's okay. It's cute. I like it. I like it enough to not hide it away in a drawer. Like, I put it on my, like, what you call it, what, like where my window is, like where all of my other Christmas decor. So, you know, it deserves that, which already says a lot, because I don't know about you. I think I mentioned this already in my like very first video, where it's basically like a big old rant because I didn't speed it up. It's like 1 hour long, like I think was the first day of Artvent, and I basically already talked about, you know, this thing about like artists, when you look at, you know, the internet, like, oh, like my evolution over the years, or like my art collection or whatever, that I personally feel like I have so many like drawings and paintings that I either threw away because I just found them so ugly, or they were simply unfinished, and then either I threw them away, or, you know, which happens a lot, is that I simply discard them in some other way, like they just get lost in a drawer forever. Like, there's so many like paintings and drawings where I'm also almost like sad and curious, where I'm like, where did they go? There's like certain drawings and paintings. What was that? Oh, the brushes that I just talked about moved on their own. Calm down, please. But, oh god, what was I talking? Yeah, like so many like drawings that I just couldn't find anymore. Like, missed, especially when it were like really cool drawings. Like I remember this very, very clearly. Like I remember it was at my grandparents' place, and I think like the day before, I don't know, somewhere around that time, we've just like, I don't know if you just watched The Hobbit or like the trailer came out, and there was like the first hints of like Smaug, right? And there wasn't like, you could see him, but basically like this dragon that's on fire. That's what I remember. And so I drew like a dragon made out of fire, and it looked so cool. It was like the coolest thing ever. Like even today, when I have like the image in my head, I'm like, that was really well done. And I don't know where it went. I don't know where it is. And it makes me so sad. I'm like, what happened? Where did it go? Why? And so yeah, I think that's kind of tragic. Like I wish I could somehow just find them, or I guess that's sort of like the con, especially when it comes to like drawings on paper. Like if you have like a journal, or for example this canvas, even the small one, you are less likely to just throw it away. Like if there's a pile of paper and you just throw the entire pile without, you know, seeing that there's maybe like a sketch or something underneath all of those, you're not gonna notice. But you know, these other things like a canvas, you can feel the weight and texture. Like it's not the same thing as just a regular paper. Or like a journal, you're gonna look inside, oh, what is this? Which I'm personally not a huge journal girly, be it in actually using the journals for what they are supposed to, or like, you know, these drawing journals. I tried, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know why. To me it feels weird to paint in or draw in a journal, I don't know. But yeah, you know, these rip to all of those art pieces that were forgotten in a drawer or accidentally thrown away, or even those who were purposely thrown away, because I wish I could do like, also because I know eventually I will do a, you know, reviewing my sort of like all of my art that I've ever done, you know, like my improvements, hopefully improvements over the years. And I do try to like put dates on most things. I think I didn't actually put a date on this, but I guess it will be dated simply by the fact that I post this video, so that helps. And yeah, you know, for when I do the video, I would have wished that I really had like everything, because I think that's, I don't know how it is with other YouTubers or artists or whatever, when, you know, they show off like their art collection, not really collection, but of the art that they've created over the years, if it's really like quote unquote everything, or like I would really be interested in how much of it is missing, how much of it is shown. And also, you know, these things of like, I know that this is something that many art people go through, is like sort of like a break almost. Like I remember for me it was when I was in like high school, I'm pretty sure, like I think, yeah, pretty much in high school, but already starting a little bit in middle school, but mainly high school. There was this big break where I didn't like draw anything, or at least not the way that I used to. Like I used to, you know, just for fun, I draw something or paint something or whatever, and in my free time would go downstairs and look for all of like our art materials or crafts, or I don't know, clay, you name it. And then in high school that really was like, it almost disappeared almost. Like I think the only thing in terms of drawing is like, you know, sketches in school books, or, you know, in art class, like in, you know, the subject in school. And I didn't really do a lot of it in my free time anymore. I basically only watched YouTube videos, and I can kind of like had this downward spiral where I was like, oh, you know, there's like these infants who can draw 10 times better than me, so why bother to actually paint or draw myself if, you know, there's people who are so much more talented than me. And I think that's something that also a lot of art people struggle with, is this thing of like, oh, you know, if I'm not good enough, why even bother? Why even do it? You know, there's already other people doing it and maybe doing it better. Like, this shouldn't discourage you. Like, it's a hobby. It's, you know, for me, that's kind of what I realized when I went to uni. It's kind of like when this fire reignited to do, you know, more drawings and be creative again, is it is a hobby. And even if there are people better than you, that doesn't matter. Like, you like it, and you should do it because you like it, you know, not because you have to be good at it. And it's also, I guess, sort of this thing, my mindset, I guess, with YouTube. Maybe that's the reason why I started YouTube now, is because now I don't care about, oh, you know, there's so many other art channels out there, but it's like, I enjoy doing this, and, you know, here's what I do. And sure, it's not the most grand piece of art. I guess it's not a banana taped to a wall or whatever, but, you know, I still enjoy doing these videos, so I won't stop myself just because, you know, there's people who do it better or whatever. So I think, yeah, that's again a very inspirational thing to end this video with. And yeah, you can see the finished painting, this derpy little reindeer with the Christmas lights in its antlers. Yeah, I think in the end it turned out really cute. I would have kind of wished that I put more like shading or detail around the eye area, like the very like beige light area, to create more dimension, but I think it's very cute. I think it's fine. So yeah, goodbye until tomorrow.